big deal.
Well, if that doesn't make you miss the 80s, nothing will. What's going on? Michael Nathanson in the house. We are live. And,
What's up, guys?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Good. I love that intro. So there was I think I went on a wacky nostalgia acid trip during that intro. It was like Tron meets the old Star Wars game that was just trying to, beating the Death Star, plus a commercial for Scarface.
I don't normally move it, but if you look up there in the upper corner, I've got a marquee for the Star Wars arcade game.
Ah,
right
that was
up
the
there.
Greatest. When I was in Portland, Oregon recently, and was it in Portland? No, it wasn't in Portland. I was in Oregon. I was in Portland also, but it was Bend, Oregon. If anyone's ever been to Bend, Oregon, it's one of the coolest places on earth. It's so amazing. But
that's a sentence I never thought I'd ever hear spoken.
Bend, Oregon?
Just Oregon in general being one of the coolest places on earth.
Oh my God!
Really?
You guys got to get yourselves to Portland, the Willamette Valley, Bend. There's some pretty rad places, Portland especially. But in Bend, this guy opened this arcade bar, and it's all old school arcade games. I'm sure they have these all over the place. I think they have them in Portland too, and actually might have one in New York. But anyway, point being, he had the original Star Wars arcade game, and I was just, my wife was like, no. I got to do this for a little bit.
What's actually funny is out here in Cleveland, we do have one. It's called 16-Bit Bar and Arcade. And I went to a bachelor party, and that was one of the stops. I literally stood in front of this machine the whole time going, get me another alcoholic Slurpee. And then played again, and finally well, we got to go. I'm like, where? They're like, strippers. I go, but Star Wars.
But this is the Star Wars arcade game.
This is 82? What? Yeah. So...
Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, nice to be here. Hello.
Hey, it's a pleasure to have you. Here's the best part. Joe's a little under the weather today, and he decided to take some medicine. So about halfway through the show, he's going to be in the corner petting. No. He's going to be over there petting his Superman sign, thinking it's the cat about halfway through. So I got bets on that.
Those drugs, please.
Yeah, right? I asked him who sold it to him, and he wouldn't tell me. He said something about Revco or CVS or something. I don't know. But
all right, we'll pick up the slack for you, Joe. Don't worry.
Yeah, we got you covered. Well, check it out. We've got the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Nathanson. You guys know him from Marvel's Netflix, The Punisher, Homeland Security Agent Sam Stein. I'll tell you what, man. I absolutely loved it. I, of course, went through the whole thing and watched it day one because I'm a geek. It's depressing as shit, but it's great.
It is depressing. Super depressing.
But it's amazing what they did with it. The subject matter and stuff, it was awesome.
Yeah.
But
Thank you.
How did you get hooked into this? How did it happen? Did you audition? Did they hunt you down? How did that happen?
I don't know. Let's ask Frank. Frank, how did I get this?
Practice.
Michael was an actor. Sorry. You hear my kids? My kids are dropping toys in the background.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, I knew the cast director really well. She was a big fan of mine and had called me in for a lot of different stuff. And this came up. I actually auditioned for Micro first.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't think they were totally sure what they were going with for Micro at first. I think maybe they were going for someone a little bit closer to what the comics were. So I think I fit a little bit more of that mold. But I auditioned. I didn't
comics though. He was a fat guy.
Yeah, except for maybe fat. But this is sort of the funny, nebbishy Jewish guy. I think they brought me because of my sort of edgy sense of humor and my intensity and all that kind of stuff. But little did I know. What was funny is that when I first went in, I didn't know that it was micro, but I figured it out. I was like, "This is micro." I was like, "I get it. This is amazing."
Now,
and then I kind of realized what I was auditioning for. She kind of hinted at it, but it was all weird because that's her. To be careful, but no. And then I didn't get that. But she was like, they really loved you, and there's this other part, which I actually think is a better fit for you. Everyone's frozen.
Yeah, no, we're still here.
Okay, sorry. Oh, there you are. So she's like, there's this other part for you. I was like, how could there be two parts that kind of fit my personality in the same Marvel show? And there was. And I went in, and she was like, this is your part. Like, this is you. Like, this, you're going to get this. I was like, okay. And she was really, really supportive. Great cast director, Julie Schubert. And she casts all the Marvel stuff. Her partner, Lorraine Mayfield, casts on the West Coast.
Okay.
Yeah, man. And I went in. It was a dummy scene, nothing from the actual show.
Right.
It was actually a monologue about 9/11 they gave me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember. It was like a monologue about 9/11 and a really intense scene between me and a FBI partner, a female FBI partner.
Okay.
And obviously I hadn't read scripts. I didn't know what they were going with in the show and everything. And we worked on it, and I gave the audition, and I didn't hear a lot. In fact, I heard nothing for about 2 months. And then I think it was like late August. I was at a meeting for something, and I got a text message. Looks like you're getting an offer for the Punisher, and I was just like, I hadn't heard anything. Like, it was just, I knew that it went well, but like, I didn't have to call. I didn't get a call back. I didn't have to test. I didn't have to go jump through any hoops. Apparently, they saw my tape and they were like, "Boom, he's the guy."
That's great.
So, it was pretty rad, man. It was pretty cool, and yeah. So beginneth my journeyeth.
Well, you tell me that you were able to identify Micro. Were you already a fan of the Punisher prior to that?
Truth be told, I was never like a devout fan. I knew like I had seen the bad movies, although Warzone's not terrible. It's just thoroughly disgusting.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, and but I knew the basic story of the Punisher. I knew the characters. I knew the history, and I had seen Daredevil season 1 and season 2, and but yeah, I mean, like, I knew the basics. Like, if you're a comic or a geek guy, or anything, if you know anything about the Marvel universe, you're gonna know whom you're gonna know Punisher and Micro. So I got it. But
yeah. And the van.
I also knew. Well, I also knew. I was pretty sure it was the Punisher because I knew it was a spin-off of a Marvel show I was going in for, and I had a feeling based on what I was reading. But yeah, not a huge Punisher reader.
What are you a huge reader of?
I like a lot of weird stuff. Like I like a lot of graphic novel stuff. I actually recently I've been getting into a lot of like the Charles Burns stuff, Harvey Pekar stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like a lot. Oh, it's weird. Sorry, my computer was doing weird things. Yeah, and that X'd Out. What's it called? X'd Out. That weird sort of like existential sort of like stuff based on real life that goes into like surrealistic weird stuff. I'm kind of getting recently. But man, yeah, I mean, I used to read. I mean, I've been reading comics my whole life. Truth be told, I'm a DC fan as well. I'm a huge Batman fan.
Nice.
My biggest geek passion though is Star Wars. I mean, I'm a Star Wars and Ghostbusters. Those are my two sort of like totemistic kind of things. It's hard to read comics these days when you have children, 2 4-year-old twins.
Yeah, I've got a 3-year-old. I have 1 3-year-old, so.
Double that.
Yeah, no, I couldn't even imagine right now. Couldn't.
It's brutal. Amazing.
Right.
So reading is something I don't often have time for. Once I have like time for myself, it involves sleeping.
Yeah, reading isn't a priority then.
No, if I try to read anything, I started getting comics on my iPad.
Yeah.
Just because like I wouldn't lose them and my kids wouldn't rip them apart, and I don't know. I've got like a backlog of stuff, but Watchmen was one of my favorite books of all time.
Right.
I've read a lot of stuff. I read everything, but these days I'm in them, not reading them as much.
Yeah, right. That, you know what? That's not a bad thing at all. Oh, you getting secret messages over there?
No. I'm getting children. Can you hear it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mine's upstairs,
Yeah,
and she wants nothing more than to come down and hang out for a show. Believe me.
And like, well, it's like the one time she actually cares about me. She's like, it's when I can't actually hang out with her.
Right. That's exactly it too.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, about a half an hour, mine will be at the top of the stairs going, Dad, yeah.
That's enough podcasting.
Exactly.
Sorry. And that's why I've been a little bit distracted during this question and answer session, just because it's, oh God. Sorry.
No.
Good evening.
You know what? Trust me, you know what? This is more just sitting around and BSing than anything else. So,
you get the real me. What I bring to any party is the real, authentic me, warts and all. So I hope that's cool.
That is awesome, actually.
That's what we prefer, believe me. I mean, I'm a jackass in real life, so it works out. But you were talking about Harvey Pekar. What's really cool about that is American Splendor and all that stuff was filmed. And it was filmed where it actually took place in Lakewood, Ohio. And I was born and raised in Lakewood, Ohio. So, like, when he's going to the Elmwood Bakery, I used to walk by there for school all the time.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
That's a great movie. I love that movie. So good.
Oh, God. It's phenomenal. A lot of people sit there and they didn't like it, but they just didn't understand it.
No. That movie's awesome.
Yeah.
And he's awesome.
No, Picard drew some crazy stuff, though, but it was all real life, exactly like what you're talking about.
Totally.
So you were also in Wolf of Wall Street. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to pretend like I watched the entire movie, because I didn't, because again, kids, life, everything else.
Right.
Who was your character in that? I'm not even going to like pretend like I know everything.
Well, what's funny is that, like, I've done a lot of stuff. That's such a big credit, but I was just in a couple of scenes. I was, what was my character's name? His name was, he was the wedding videographer at the movie. Barry something. I don't remember. But he's the guy.
I have a note. Barry Kleinman. I had a note on
Barry
it.
Kleinman. And I got to spend like 5 days on set. But it's just funny. It's like when you do something, and I got to work with Scorsese a little bit. I got to work with DiCaprio one of the days, and it was like, but it's like when you have that credit, everyone's like, oh, he was in The Wolf of Wall Street, and it's like, I'm like, sure, like a million other actors in the world. I didn't have a huge role. I've been in other things where I had bigger roles. We could talk about those things, but people are always like, it's just funny to me because then they were like, well, who are you? I was like, well, I'm not going to brag. I was in a couple of scenes, big deal. But I will say there was a day where I was on set, and it was just me and DiCaprio and Scorsese. And in that moment, I was like, okay, something just happened to my career.
See, that was more or less what I was leading to, was like to get you. I was hoping you were in that environment where that happened, because that is just.
No, I worked with that. Yeah, I mean, what's incredible about Scorsese is, I mean, the guy makes these huge, expansive movies, right? And they cost a ton of money. But they will throw as much money and as much production value into whatever he wants to do, because he's Martin Scorsese and his movies are amazing and he's a genius. So, like the big wedding scene, like I was in a lot of that. And actually I got to improvise quite a bit. I improvised with Rob Reiner and a lot of the other characters. I got to go around with the crew and we did all this stuff. But the other thing that I shot was this guy's office, and just the detail work. First of all, they shot it in an actual like New Jersey strip mall in like somebody's like shitty office area, so it looked like a shitty, like
literally a shitty office.
yeah, exactly. And it's like, but the attention to detail was amazing, and it's for a fairly short scene, but it was the whole day. It was blocked out for the scene, and he comes on, man. He's like everything that you think he is, right? He comes on, he's like, Michael, it's so great to be around. I think Barry's he's an interesting guy. He's a loner, maybe, and I think he's doing a lot of different things in this thing. He's a videographer, but maybe he's selling drugs in the back. And the guy is just like on like everything that you think Martin Scorsese is going to be as a director. He's throwing it at you, and he's telling you like the backstory of your character that you never even attempted to learn, because you're like, I'm just here to do this. Okay, great. And I was like, that all sounds great. And he's like, yeah, we're getting Leo down here, and he's going to be great, and we're going to talk about it. And it was incredible. And then there was that moment where I'm like standing there, and on one side is DiCaprio with his like e-cig, kind of like, yeah, cool, thinking about the scene, and Scorsese's just going mile a minute talking, and I'm in the middle, and I'm just sort of like this, like ping-ponging. I'm like, who do I take in more for the rest of my life for this image? Like, I've got DiCaprio, but there's Leonardo DiCaprio, but there's Martin Scorsese. It was like, so just for that alone, it was like, it's worth talking about because it was super cool time.
Martin Scorsese knows your name.
He does, and you know what? The best thing was, I called him Marty. After working on I started calling him Marty. I was like, I'm calling him Marty.
See, now what you need to do is when they start picking up the reins on the new Joker movie, you need to be like, hey, Marty, do you remember me?
So, yeah. That's my dream role. Like that, like I get asked that all the time in interviews. You know, they're like, what's your dream comic book role? And it's always the Joker. I just talked to Huffington Post about this. They were talking to me about like, you know, if you could be in any comic book franchise or blah, blah, blah. I was like, I want to play the Joker. I want to play the Joker.
Could you hit that dark side that hard?
That's the thing, man. That's the thing. Waiting for someone to discover that super dark side. When I was younger and a younger actor, and I did a lot of dark stuff, mostly theater stuff. And when I was training in drama school, they would always give me the darkest parts. I was always playing like really creepy, crazy, like intense bad guys. And just as I've gotten older, I don't know if it's like being a dad or being a husband or just kind of like genuinely being a nice guy. It was hard. You know, people just kind of, it was just an easier thing to cast me as. But no, man, I've got a dark side, and my dream is to do Death in the Family, like to film that, you know, like to be that Joker.
Wow.
That dark. That's the one I want to do.
That is, yeah.
I still want to see an Endgame Joker. I want to see an Endgame Joker.
Oh, yeah. That would be cool, too.
But unfortunately, and this is just my opinion, Leto's going to keep screwing up Joker for a little while longer.
Yeah, you know, look,
I just don't like his version.
What's that?
I just don't like his version of it. It's not that he's bad at it. I just don't like his take on it.
Yeah, look, the guy's a good actor. I mean, he's done good things. I think he's a little uneven. I think some things I like, some things I don't. You know, the new Blade Runner movie I really liked a lot, but that character didn't do it for me. And I don't know if it was him or I think the character was a bit underwritten or kind of unnecessary because the female baddie in that movie was way cooler than him and way more interesting. And I was like, I didn't really care for him. But it's so funny, you know, when you're in my position, you guys all probably a lot of times you talk about like, this is good, this is bad. I don't want to alienate anybody.
Oh,
I get
absolutely.
so scared.
Yeah.
I get so scared. I mean, I'm not going to be a sycophant about anything. You know, I'm not going to just be like, oh, everyone's great and you know, it's all wonderful. Like, no, I have opinions, but it's just so funny because, you know, if I say Leto stinks in Suicide Squad, I'm going to get like, what do you mean, man? Well, you stink. Or
right.
Like,
well, that's exactly it, though. I mean, the guy's a good actor. I'm just not a fan of his take on what he's doing with it.
Yeah. And that's fair, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and agree with you.
Yeah, I mean it's Go ahead. Oh, I have a bigger question for you. Where the hell did you find 3 hours to watch Blade Runner?
Because of the kids, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, well, no. I make time to go to the movies.
Okay.
Yeah. So my sort of like my temple is the movie theater. And I like to go and I make sure that I don't see a lot, but you'll be impressed. I saw Last Jedi 2 nights in a row last week. I saw it Thursday and Friday.
And you're probably left with as many questions as I am.
Oh, I would love to hear your opinion of that.
So if anyone's been following me on social media out there, and you guys might have seen, like, I post a lot of Star Wars stuff. I'm getting my kids into Star Wars. It's a big deal for me. I love it, and I've been posting things like leading up to it's like 5 days left,
right?
4 days left, and like Mark Hamill sent me this really nice message on Twitter that was really funny, and like I posted that, and you know, it all means a lot to me. Like it's very precious to me, and yeah, it was I'm not gonna lie, I'm in sort of a very weird place with Star Wars, and everyone's been asking me like, so are you not going to you're not going to talk about it? Like people have been like, you keep posting all these other things, but you're not actually talking. All you've been talking about is Star Wars, and now you're not even talking about it. Yeah, guys, I have a lot of questions. and a lot of skepticism and a lot of like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need time. I messed up by seeing it twice in a row.
Why?
Like 2 days.
Why is that?
Well, look, when I bought tickets, I figured this was going to be everything I heard about it was like, this is gonna be this badass movie, and I don't want to not have the opportunity to see it right away again, because that's what I did with Force Awakens.
Right.
And I don't think Force Awakens is a perfect movie. I enjoyed it. I think there are issues in that movie too.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wasn't prepared for what Last Jedi was going to be. You know, the departure from so much of the mythology. You know, kind of like creating new mythologies like every 5 minutes, creating this like humor that's never been. You know, just like the tone and the length of it. It just like knocked me for a loop, and then I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to go back right away without having much time to process it and sit through this again the very next day." Both late shows, both being tired.
Wow.
I mean,
it was intense.
I was going to say, on top of that, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I apologize. But with the humor, that kind of got me. As much as I love the Porgs for being cutesy, they almost fit without not fitting. You know what I mean? Like, it worked. But then next thing you know, and I'm avoiding spoilers because we're still in that range. You go to Finn a minute later, and he's busting out one-liners like it's the Terminator.
I'll be a teeny tiny bit spoilery because it's right in the beginning. You know, like when Poe has that whole thing with Hux. You know, like I'll hold. There's Hux there, and he has that whole sort of jokey thing with him. I was like, oh boy. What am I like? What I'm in for? Like, I don't know what this movie's going to be. It totally threw me from that moment. And actually, I got to be honest. Like, I actually dug it. Like in the beginning, I was like, "This is really cool," and like, good for Rian Johnson. Like, way to go, way to take some chances. And like, I thought the first act of that movie was really pretty goddamn solid. And then the second act came, and I don't know. I didn't understand what I was watching. And then the third act came, and it was just like no spoiler. I was about to say something. But.
Yeah, no, you're probably starting to say the same thing I was thinking. But it would turn left, and then it would turn right, and then it would turn left, and I'm like,
Does it rhyme with Schmeying Schmea?
I'm sorry, repeat that again?
Does it rhyme with Schmeying Schmea?
Yeah, it does. But yeah, no, it was just, I got to a point where if it was a kidnapping and you dropped me off, I couldn't find my way home.
That's a great.
You know? I mean, I couldn't even count how many bumps were in the road. And I still enjoyed it, though. I did enjoy it.
I enjoyed it, too. That's the thing. Like, I enjoyed it, and it infuriated me, and it frustrated me, and it excited me. I feel so many different things right now about it, and I just can't. I'm not ready to just go online and make a post and be like, I loved Star Wars. It was awesome. Like, there are people going on Twitter being like, it's the greatest movie since Empire. No, it's not.
I will say, though,
something.
Those new Imperial Guards are badass.
That scene was incredible.
When
they went back and fought those, come on. And those buzzsaw, lightsaber-y, kind of whatever those things are, power tool lightsabers.
They all had crystals in them, and I'm just like, whoa, what? Wait, huh? What?
Yeah.
You all get crystals? Is this like you join in, you get one? Is that how this works?
Who are the guys that were in Rogue One? The what was his name? The sort of samurai.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I can't think of who it is, though. I can't think of the name of them.
Too many Star Wars movies now to remember everybody.
Yeah, one a year? What? Yeah, okay.
Exactly. But I wondered if these guards, these sort of like samurai style guards, like, first of all, what a direct like link to Kurosawa, which is absolutely Lucas's inspiration for Star Wars in the first place. So I thought that was Rian Johnson totally nodding back to Lucas and being like, I got you.
Yeah.
I know where this comes from, and I respect the origins of it. I thought was kind of awesome.
Yeah.
And no one's really talked about it. Has anyone talked about that? Because I.
You know what? People right now are too busy sitting there trying to figure out what the hell they saw.
I'm just looking at the things that they like.
Yeah. What was that, Joe?
There's people protesting this movie.
That's because people are idiots half the time, but we're not going to get into that.
We don't need to do that. It's a movie. It's a movie. They're movies. Like, as much as I love it, and I'm a devout fan, they're still just movies. And I bought the goddamn.
Oh yeah, I need that one. I need that one.
Yeah, this is great. Well, I love it because I picked this up at a flea market. It's from a McDonald's Happy Meal. Do you remember this guy? I think it's from one of the. But it's a great little like figure. It was like $1, but it was in great shape. I picked it up. But I just love looking at them because there was no Black Series back then. But I just love this. Like, look at these guys.
Yep. But you know what? Here's the thing.
I had to have this. I had to have a box that said Jedi Master Luke Skywalker.
My only problem with that figure, though, is it looks like Kurt Russell in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, you're right. It does. You know which one really does not look like Mark Hamill is the one that comes. There's one of these that comes with the island. You like stand him on the island. It's a bigger thing. It like opens up this way.
Yeah.
That one
you're talking about
Black Series version,
right?
And the best part of it, it's like it's very real. It's like supposed to be more realistic, and it costs twice as much. It looks nothing like him. This at least like kind of looks like him.
You're gonna pull out the He-Man one.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, let's make them fight each other. Oh jeez! All right, dorks.
That was awesome. Oh, this is great.
I lost you. I lost your audio. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Joe, I lost his audio.
Yeah, I did too. Ryan, you there?
I'm here.
Oh, hey, Ryan.
I hit the mute button when Luke did a 1.5.
He got so excited to battle me in action figure.
I see that.
Virtual action figure land.
Needless to say, I'm going to walk upstairs and my fiance is going to look at me and be like, "You're not getting any for like a year, dude." I saw what you did. You're not getting any.
And you're still only engaged. Try being married.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah, well, I got nothing on that one. So, now that let's actually go back to a question for a second. Now that you've made it into the Marvel Universe, I know what happens with your character. We're not going to spoil anything, but
potential spoilers, people. If you haven't seen it in the month that it's been out,
yeah, see the goddamn show.
All right, you know what? I'll tell you what. We're going to do spoilers here in 3, 2, 1. Since your character gets fucking whacked, I know. It makes you sad. When you found that out, did you find that out early, or did you find that out a little while later?
I knew it from the beginning. I knew it from right around the audition time.
Okay. Is there any chance that they could take you and put you in something else somewhere down the line? Is there ever a mention of that in any way, shape, or form?
Like a Coulson thing?
No, not even as the same character, as another character. Shit, if Captain America could be Johnny Storm at the same time, I mean...
Yes, but different studios, although now they bought Fox, and so it's all the same thing.
That deal, holy crap.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other conversation. It's an interesting question. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna like be cagey or anything. They haven't talked to me about that. I am talking to Marvel about something right now, which is very exciting. Which I can't really spoil here, but maybe I will totally come back and talk to you guys about it another time.
Right on.
Awesome.
So there's something going on with me and Marvel, and we're talking about stuff, and something cool is gonna happen. That's pretty likely to happen.
Nice.
So you won't not see me anymore on some level, if that makes any sense.
No, I completely. Yeah, no, I think I know where you're going with this. If I had to guess.
Yeah, I'll be connected to the Marvel family potentially sooner than later. So that'll be fun. And again, when the time is right, I'm trying to be very.
Oh no, I completely understand. We actually just had a similar thing with the. One of your fellow Netflix shows over there, The Toys That Made Us. They told us we had to wait, and they gave us a little while. The minute they were ready, they came on the show. Had a great show with them last week. If you get a chance, make sure you watch that when it hits.
Yes, I heard that. Yeah, look, I would love it. It would be very cool. I mean, if DC comes knocking, I'll be like, I'll totally defect. And it's there, and it's not. I was like, "Look, I need a job, fellas." No, I'm kidding. But
what do you
not kidding.
What do you have coming up right now? Actually, before you tell me about that, I actually had some people that are. There's a chat for the people that are watching, and they can throw up questions and things like that.
Right.
Mike Tackett wants to know if you could tell us some more about "Can't You Have It" coming up in 2018.
Oh, Can't Have You.
Can't Have You. I read it wrong. Sorry.
Can't Have It. Yeah, that's an indie film I did last year. Just waiting on final cuts and producers to get their stuff together and final edits and things, and they're hoping to get it out to festivals next year. It's one of those things that's kind of out of my hands, but something I got to shoot last year in Palm Springs for a month, which was super fun and lots of fun people in it. So yeah, hopefully it'll be coming out soon. If anyone has watched Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Amazon, which is a big show now, I'm in that. You can catch me in that. I filmed a Madam Secretary episode, which I'll be one of the guest stars on. That'll be coming out February, I think, January, February. I've got a lot of writing projects too coming out and sort of develop. So
I was actually going to start to stumble onto the writing thing. What came first, the acting or the writing?
Well, it's fun. I went to school to be a writer. I was always a writer in high school. I actually was. It was funny. I had I was one of those sort of like half dorks, half cool guys. And when I say that, I mean like I never fit in anywhere. I didn't really know what my path was going to be. So like I smoked pot in high school, and I did theater, and I played baseball, and I was the editor of the Film Review magazine. Oh. So that's a weird combination of people, because I've always been an obsessive film geek and sort of an armchair film historian. I just love film, which is why I said I have to carve out time to go to the movies.
Right.
And I went to college to be a writer, but I went to a college that had a great theater program, and then kind of just got back into acting. Was like, oh, this is really where like artistically I feel like I mesh sort of most organically, and that became kind of my career. But I've always wanted to get back into writing, and I would say the last like 5-6 years, especially, I've been making short films, and currently making a short film that I wrote. We're almost finished with it. We're almost finished filming it, which is exciting. It's sort of a John Carpenter inspired sci-fi short that I'm making, and and I just
where do you distribute the shorts and stuff that you do?
Yeah, you could see a couple of my shorts, I think, on iTunes. I think if you just Google my name, a couple of the shorts will come up. The problem with short films is that they really go to festivals and then they kind of just die.
Right.
There used to be more outlets for them. There used to be like PBS did a whole short film showcase, and there were other places to go. But really, when you do a short film, you can put it on iTunes yourself these days. You can put it on Vimeo. If anyone really wants to see any of my short films, I'm happy to send people a link to my short films. Fantastic. I'll send you guys a link to a short film. I'll try to throw it up on Vimeo maybe. There's a couple that one is on iTunes right now. It's called Tribute. It's pretty funny. It's a dark comedy that I co-wrote and helped produce and that I'm in. But if anyone wants to check that out, they'll see a very different side of Sam Stein. It's me and Liza Weil from How to Get Away with Murder, and Gilmore Girls, and a lot of other fun actors. It's actually a really fun, dark little movie I made. And yeah, man, I've just been like, I have a feature in development. I got a TV pilot in development that I wrote and co-wrote, and a couple other things I can't really talk about. But yeah, it's as I've done more things and worked with bigger directors and made more of a name for myself, I've wanted to make sure that like my behind the camera stuff started to get a little bit more attention, and so I could sort of converge the two. And when you have a little bit of heat, it's good, and it makes people pay attention to. They want to know, oh, what do you have going on, and like, what else do you do? And I'm like, just so happens I write and produce stuff. And so trying to get that going more. So I'll this year is going to be a big year for that stuff for me.
Very cool
project.
Now, yeah. I mean, the long game, the end game. Are you looking to continue acting, or do you want to get more into the behind the scenes directing, producing, things like that? Is that where you want to end up?
Yeah, I think if you gave me a choice, I would say I'd like to end up being a writer producer and do more of the sort of the behind the scenes storytelling, have a little bit more of the creative control over what's going on. But I do love acting. I don't think I'll ever stop acting. It's just kind of in me.
Yeah.
I have to do it. I need to do it. But I got to be honest, like, I'm starting to hit a really cool sweet spot in my career where I'm getting to like get dirty with filmmaker friends and make our short films and just do stuff for us, and then hopefully bring them out into the world and people will dig them too, and then have bigger projects that are more about like pitching to networks and getting bigger financiers involved and getting bigger producers and trying to make movies or TV shows for a wider audience, and then getting to do some cool acting and doing some indie films. And, I'm attached to a couple of indie films that will hopefully start filming next year that are pretty dark and weird and will totally, shatter my Sam Stein image, which is great. And then, if they end up being made, because it's all about money.
Right.
And I just like to take chances, and, you'll never see me making a lot of safe choices. And hopefully now that people, more people know who I am and kind of get a sense of who I am and know my name and all that, hopefully taking those chances will keep people interested.
Our main guy is
minute 14 of my 15 minutes, just FYI.
Oh, you're in the minute 14, so you still got 13 minutes left?
Yeah, of fame. No, I have 1 minute left of fame.
Oh.
15.
What was you're talking about hitting the sweet spot in your career. At what point, what was your holy shit moment? Where you realized that you're, holy shit, I'm getting there. I'm that type of thing.
I had a couple of smaller ones. So I would say the biggest one was when I got cast in Steven Soderbergh's movie Side Effects.
Okay.
And I had a pretty big part in that movie. And I showed up on my first day, and my first day of filming was me and Jude Law in a small interrogation room. And it's me, Jude Law, and Steven Soderbergh. And I was and I had all the power in the scene, and I had to and there was no rehearsal. And within 10 minutes, we were shooting a Steven Soderbergh movie with me and Jude Law. And I was just holy shit.
Holy crap.
But that being said, and I had done some stuff, but I'd never done anything like that. And he's one of the greatest filmmakers that ever lived. And I was that's when I was I want to work with these guys. Hopefully these are the guys I'm going to be working with from here on out. And that was a holy shit moment. That was definitely a holy shit moment. And then I had many of them when I was filming The Nick, the TV show that I did with Steven Soderbergh. Just because of the way he works, the other actors involved, the sets, the props, the makeup, the sort of natural lighting he used, it was the closest I felt I would ever come to actually working with Stanley Kubrick was being part of Soderbergh's team. But yeah, it was that moment. What was really cool is I remember Jude Law is a super classy dude. He's a great actor. And I remember that first day I was so nervous because I had to interrogate Jude Law, be totally cool and do this whole scene. And I was just it was my first scene with him. We had a lot of other scenes coming up together, and I was in the makeup trailer and I was shitting my pants. I was oh my God, I hadn't met Steven Soderbergh yet. I met him for the first time, on the set. I'll tell you a funny story about that, about why he does that and what it means. But no, I was just saying, I was sitting in the makeup trailer and I was really shitting my pants. And Jude came into the makeup trailer to do his stuff. And he's on the other end and he gets his hair done and he's talking to the makeup people. And I'm not making eye contact. So I'm a little freaked out, intimidated. And when he was done, he came over, he walked all the way over to the other side of the makeup trailer, came over, he squeezed my shoulder. He said, "Hey man, I'm Jude. Nice to meet you. I'm really excited to work with you."
Wow.
Nice.
And he did that because A, he's a classy guy.
Right.
And B, he's not an idiot. He knew I was probably super intimidated and he needed to disarm me.
Yeah.
And be dude, we're all just here by sheer chance and luck. Who the hell knows why we're all here?
Right.
And it set my head on straight and it was really great. And I was I really appreciated that. And he was one of those actors where on set he would just hang out with the crew and the cast and just shoot the shit and be a cool guy. And anyway, there you go.
Well, just so you know, our guy in the chat has already started dropping links for your iTunes movie. So.
Oh, cool. I'm really, really proud of that movie.
For tribute, yeah.
Yeah. We wanted to make a feature. Hey, if anyone loves it and has a ton of money out there, we want to make a feature of that movie.
Well,
that's our dream.
I'm the ton of money thing. I've got a 3-year-old. I'm out.
Yeah, I wasn't asking you guys. Also, I don't think you and I could work well together.
You don't think we can work well together? No? Okay.
I actually think quite the opposite.
That's all right. I get around. What can I say? I got nothing. But you said you had a story also with Soderbergh.
Oh, well, what's funny about Soderbergh is the way he works. He's very I wouldn't say closed off, but he's just like, he's about the work. He's about what he's doing and focusing on his vision for what he's doing.
Yeah.
And so, there are some directors who like to talk a lot. There are some directors who don't like to talk a lot. There's some directors who talk a lot and have a lot to say. Some directors talk a lot and have very little to say. Steven is a very interesting, cagey guy, has an incredible sense of humor, and he's like a film encyclopedia. But what's cool is, like I said, I showed up. I expected him to want to do like a big rehearsal and meet me and do a whole thing, and he really didn't. He like threw me into the scene. We did the scene. We did like 3 takes of that scene, and we were done. And I was just like, what is happening? I'm not a day player here. I'm like, I have a supporting role in this movie. And when the Nick came around and this part came up, he was very kind. I didn't have to audition. He gave me the part. He's like, there's this part in the show I want you to play. And I was like, sounds good. I'm in. And I came to set and started working on season 1, and then I worked on season 2, and it was a very similar kind of experience where you show up and you kind of do your work, and he lights in advance, and he it's not a lot of waiting around, not a lot of bullshit time. You get out early. I don't know if people out there know what it's like to be on a film set. Probably a lot of people do, and you guys might know too. But there's a lot of wasted time and a lot of waiting around, and a lot of late nights for no reason. Sometimes he doesn't play it that way.
Yeah, and
so. I'll never forget. It was the wrap party for season 1 of the Nick, and Clive. It was a bowling party because Steven Soderbergh, little known fact, is an amazing bowler. He was on the bowling team in high school apparently, and loves to bowl. It's like one of his favorite things to do, and he's really serious about it. Like you couldn't mess with him at that night. Like we all were bowling together, but he was like serious about it, and he had an amazing story. He had like 300 or something. He was crazy. So it was just hilarious. That's just a side note. So. Clive Owen comes over to me. He's a little drunk. Comes over to me. He's like, Michael. He's like, what was it like for you to work with Steven on side effects, and like, did you ever? He's like, because he started relaying basically. I'm not going to do a full on Clive Owen imitation, but he started talking about his experience working with Steven, and he was like, were you scared? He's like, I was scared shitless the first day. He was like, all of a sudden he yelled action, and we were just shooting it. There was no rehearsal. There was no real like discussion about the character. They just threw me into it. I said, yeah, that's what happened to me. I had the same experience. And Clive told me the story about when he worked with Robert Altman in Gosford Park, and it's one of his first big American movies. And he was terrified to work with Altman. Robert Altman, to me, is maybe the greatest director besides Kubrick of American cinema of all time. And I was like, well, what did you say to him? Like, what did you do to He's like, I couldn't talk to him. I didn't know what to say. He never gave me any notes. We barely rehearsed. He said, he filmed almost a month into it. He was like, I've got to say something to Robert Altman. Like, I'm working on Robert Altman movie. He's not telling me anything. I don't know what I'm doing. I might suck. I got to say something. I just need something to hold on to because actors need something, right?
Right.
So he goes over to Altman and he says something, makes up some bullshit like, oh, the scene, I need, just curious, do you think my character blah, blah, blah? And he said, Altman took a really long pause, looked him right in the eye and said, 90% of my job is casting. And he walked away.
That's one way to put it.
And Clive said to me, he was like, it made me realize, like, I'm there for a reason.
Yeah.
I did the work to get the job. Why should we need to talk about how to do the work? He knows I can do the work. He trusts me to come on set. He's got to light the movie. He's got to edit the movie. He's got to shoot the movie. He's got to work with a billion actors. He's got to, he's got to change, script, everything. I mean, all the different components that go into movie making.
Yeah.
The best thing I can do to serve this piece and to serve this great director is to just be awesome and be confident and own it. And from then on, he said, like, every film set I go to, he's like, I'm there for a reason. If I feel insecure, I bury it. And I say to myself, I'm good at this. I know what I'm doing. I'm here for a reason. And he does it. And he just does it. And I just thought it was a great lesson. And I had to learn it too when I first came on that set. And I will say, I take that with me everywhere. That story and that idea. That once I get cast, I make my choices. I go there and I do my work and I do the best I can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie to you. There's, I do this show and afterwards I've looked at people and been like, is it any good? I'm like, we're just doing it, but is it any good? But after hearing that, I should just say, screw it. People are showing up. People are watching. Just keep doing it,
think so.
That's the way I look at it. What the hell? But what are you
Good
laughing
list.
over there, Joe? You've said like one word. Are you like? I did see your right eye wander over a little bit earlier. So you know.
Yeah, that was one of the animals jumping on something. It was my daughter's cat. Yes, in the studio. Thank you. Which shouldn't be in here. So yes, I have children also. A 12-year-old and thankfully a 21-year-old son that's out of the house.
And you're down the line. Does it get just kind of easier or just different?
You have 2 girls. I'm sorry.
When do I buy my shotgun?
Exactly.
You
yes.
should have that ready already. And my word
With
of
the matching
advice.
shirts. My dad owns a shotgun.
I have this.
Perfect. Here's what you do though. When they start dating, just keep a quarter in your pocket, throw it to the boyfriend or the date or whatever. When he says, "What's this for?" Just look at him and say, "You're going to need to call more friends if you're not home on time."
They don't have payphones anymore, man.
And then he'll stop laughing at the fact that you have a lightsaber and realize that you're going to bludgeon him with it.
Yeah. I just got to get a real lightsaber. I feel like I'm one step closer to finding out how to get an actual one.
You're getting there. You're probably a lot closer than I am. That's for sure. They don't trust me with such things.
Yeah.
They're like, "We've seen
they
you in
were-
action. You're going to hurt somebody."
Making real ones?
Do they make real ones?
I heard like someone was actually trying to make a real one. Like someone in
I
like
think somebody actually did.
It was more like a plasma gun type thing, you know. It had this big flame that came out of the top of it, but he was able to cut through a steel door. It was crazy.
but it kind of there was something online I saw, but it kind of looked like it, right?
Yeah.
It was like, what is anyone's ever going to get, probably.
Again, they don't trust me with that, so I they won't even let me watch the videos half the time because it gives me ideas.
Ugh, terrible.
I've got another question, if I may, pertaining to the short film that you're making right now, and you were saying something about Carpenter-esque. Can you delve into that at all?
About the short film that I'm making, or just what
The one that you're making right now, and pertaining to John Carpenter, or?
I am a huge John Carpenter fan. I'm an obsessive John Carpenter fan. Look, I've got I'm like a prop comic tonight. All right.
Nice.
I'm geeking out. That is awesome.
One of the best and god longest fight scenes ever.
Oh, yeah. No, what was it, 5 minutes?
The best fight scene ever. Ever.
5 minutes long?
Where are the glasses?
Yeah.
Put the glasses on.
Put the glasses on! Boom, boom. Oh my god, so good. So I just saw, and at the Alamo Draft House in Brooklyn, they just had a 70mm print of The Thing, left over from 1982, that they showed. I got to see. It was pretty amazing. Pretty insane.
Are you a gamer at all? Do you play video games at all?
Not really.
The reason I ask is because they actually did an amazing The Thing video game.
Did they really? They just came out with a board game.
Oh, really?
And a Thing board game. Assault on Station, whatever it's called.
Yeah, it sounds like it would be something like Clue, almost.
Well, where's the Thing video game?
It was like for PlayStation 2, I think. It was for 2 or 3.
Oh, like old school.
Yeah,
video game.
and you played one of the people in the station, but you didn't know who was infected, or you didn't even know if you were infected. It was great.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing. I would go back. That's the thing. I have to go back to video games now, because now that I have a little bit more,
Right.
my tastes have been refined a little bit more, like the story wise for video games. It used to be just I was like, Grand Theft Auto, but now I'm like, yeah. Well, just to answer your question about the Carpenter stuff, I love John Carpenter. We went to see him live do his soundtrack concert.
Oh,
You guys seen that?
I've heard of it.
Yes.
But I've heard of it in passing.
So we went to see him do it. He does this like hour-long show. It's really only an hour because the guy's like 80 years old. It's him on stage with his son and like a backing band, and they show visuals from his movies behind him, and he plays songs from the, just it's all instrumental. And he says weird things in between them, and it's very odd.
Wait,
Anyway,
what the hell does he say in between them?
he's just like, How's everyone doing tonight? This next song is from a little movie I call They Live. And he's like Count Dracula. He's like doing some weird sort of like P.T. Barnum Count Dracula.
I'd be more impressed if he was.
He played him body bags, basically.
I'd be more impressed if he was like the Count. One movie. Sorry.
Oh, basically sounded like he sounded more like the Count. I would say that's actually fairly accurate. There's like a kitschy sort of weird thing going on, but also everyone's just like, this is pretty awesome. Like the music is so good, like that soundtrack to all those movies is so good.
Yeah.
Anyways, I love all of his movies. I'm a huge fan, and the feature I'm developing too is also a kind of a dark sci-fi relationship movie. That's a little darker. It's more like sort of in the vein of The Lobster, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It's got that kind of vibe to it. The short we're making, I kind of wanted to just do something that was a little bit more sort of like Starman meets, I don't know, vampires.
Starman,
kind of?
That's a deep cut right there.
Oh, folks out there in podcast worlds or land or faith, wherever you're watching this, if you guys have not seen Starman.
Oh, Bridges, yeah.
It has been so long since I've seen that, but yeah.
I own that on Blu-ray. I cry at that. It's one of my crying movies. One of the saddest movies I've ever seen. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's Karen Allen in like her heyday.
Right.
Yeah.
See, you got me with Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, me too.
That and I love the Focus films. You had Eternal Sunshine. You had Lost in Translation.
Yeah, there was that one sweet spot of movies. Like for a few years, they were making some great stuff.
Oh my God, it was great. And the other one that I really liked was Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo.
That's a really good movie. Very underrated. Very scary.
Oh yeah.
Interesting flick.
It made me be thankful for digital cameras. Let me tell you.
Yeah, that's sort of a relic, that movie now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I had a disposable camera, like one of my kids got at a birthday party, and they were taking all these fun pictures, and they wanted me to develop it for them. I literally couldn't find a place to develop film. I couldn't find it. I just gave up.
Wow.
They don't do it. Nobody does. Not even like the CVS wouldn't do it. They're like, oh, we had a machine, but it broke, and then we got rid of it. I was like, oh, all right. Costco stopped doing it. Weird. I hope I answered. I don't know. Did I answer your question, Joe? Probably not at all.
Yeah, you did. That's fine.
The short film is a bit of an experimental movie that I'm trying out. I love Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks is my other kind of like huge fan obsession.
Nice.
Here, I got a Twin Peaks prop I could show. It's my Log Lady pin.
Oh, jeez.
Awesome.
Dude, I have so much stuff. It's all just like scattered into drawers. But I love The Return. I don't know what you guys.
That just came out, recently. Absolutely.
I'm not familiar with that one.
With Twin Peaks?
I'm not. You know what? I've never been a Twin Peaks guy.
Joe, you like Twin Peaks?
Yeah, they just had a whole season, Ryan, that ended recently.
Well, I know they have the TV show on.
I thought this new season of Twin Peaks is one of the greatest things I'd ever seen in my life, and I love David Lynch, and I was like, I want to make a little short, get some friends together. I had written a short script last year, kind of put it in a drawer, but it was sort of, like I said, a little Carpenter-esque, and I was like, let's make this, and let's kind of throw some Twin Peaks-ish kind of Carpenter visuals and stuff in it, and kind of edit it in a fun way, and kind of mess with the linear nature of film in this, and kind of just experiment a little bit, and so it's turning out really, really well. We're actually really excited about it. It's going to be finished probably by the end of January, and we'll start throwing out to festivals and see what happens.
I would definitely be interested in that.
Oh, cool. Man.
Well, one of the things we've been talking about doing on the show is doing something where we're kind of forced to watch something that's out of our normal ballpark and, talk about it. And if we do that, I think I might have to make Twin Peaks the one I do, because I've never given it a fair shot, ever.
You won't be disappointed.
I mean, it's a very specific thing, Like, I watched it when it first came out. I was a young kid, and it was one of the first, like, crazy things I ever saw that sort of was like, whoa, what, like, we'd been used to sort of the idea of TV and film, and I think when he made that, it was just, like, threw everybody for a loop, how dark and weird and scary it was.
Right.
And so I've been hooked since, like, day one. It's a weird thing for people that I know who, like, get into it now, because if you watch season 1 and 2, there's a lot of dated shit in that. For
right.
sure.
And then there was a movie in between.
Which is kind of awesome. The movie is awesome.
Yeah, I can handle the dated stuff. That doesn't really get me, but I might have to give that a shot. Maybe.
I highly recommend, if only to get to the new season.
Right. Yeah. And you know what? A lot of the stuff they've been reviving. I've been kind of disappointed with some of it. Arrested Development, that new season they had was so lackluster it was ridiculous. Yeah. And do you think that they brought Twin Peaks back? I'm assuming that's the case, right?
Yes.
Was it an all-new series? I really have no familiarity with it. I know of it and the generalizations, but was it a continuation of the story? You're both looking at me like, shut up, Ryan.
No, you know what it's like? You know what it's like? And Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, right? I mean, maybe you may agree with me on this. It's sort of like Last Jedi in some ways.
Exactly. There you go. That's a great comparison.
People need to start understanding, maybe that's the way to understand Last Jedi, is to correlate what Twin Peaks did, because Twin Peaks is 25 years later.
Okay.
And the story picks up 25 years later, and you've got the characters are in a completely different physical, emotional, psychological state. Almost all the characters that at one point you remembered in a very sort of like loving, celebratory way, in a sense. Although, I don't want to give it. We're not going to give away what happens at the end of season 2. Some characters are in a good place, some are not. But the point is that you see, the idea that like 30 years of life goes by, and these people are going to be different, and they've lived almost an entire life, a second life since you saw them, just like Skywalker. So it's interesting, and it was very polarizing in a lot of ways. It was also like one of these things where the critics all loved it, and the fans were like not sure about it. They were kind of split.
Right.
That's interesting.
It's kind of like Jedi. Yeah, but it's bold filmmakers doing bold things, and you got to respect that.
Somehow
Absolutely.
we managed to bring it all full circle. Right back to Jedi.
It came out 4 days ago. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, well. But in 4 days, it's amazing what can happen. I mean, we're standing around at my day job. We're a bunch of IT geeks, so you know damn well everybody's seen that, seen it or something. But we're all like, we're talking about it. Next thing you know, you hear somebody from like 3 project spaces away going, "Hey, I haven't seen it yet." Sorry.
Yeah, shut up.
No spoilers.
Yeah. But that's the other thing. It's like, you know what? You get 1 week, you get opening weekend to see Jedi, and then you're on your own. That's every man for himself.
Hey, then it's fair game.
Force Awakens was ruined for me, thanks to the internet.
Well, what?
Turn Facebook.
You're supposed to go on blackout before the Star Wars movie comes.
I can't go on blackout. I'm addicted.
Yeah, but for Star Wars, you got to cut yourself off, because that's what'll happen.
Yeah, I accepted it. It was my own damn fault.
Yeah.
All right. I saw pictures of Han, and when I saw the pictures of Han Solo, I was like, no, this isn't real. And then I'm like, wait, yes, it is.
Hold on. Who didn't think he was going to die in that movie?
I knew he was going to die like that.
He wanted to die in the second movie.
Oh, yeah. No, he wanted to be written off a long time ago.
I knew he was going to die. The whole movie to me was a setup for him dying, which was the worst moment of my life, by the way. But I don't know.
Yeah. Well, actually, that movie felt more like it was a handoff, where they were bringing in the young cast, and it was kind of showing how things are cyclical, because similarities between A New Hope and this one, I fully expected all that.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do, though?
Last Jedi was not Empire.
No, it definitely was not Empire.
Yeah, to make that comparison, it's no. Ryan, we are reaching the hour mark.
Okay. That's it, Sam. I'm done with you.
All right. It's been real.
No, Michael. What do you want to? This is your opportunity here now. Go ahead and plug what you want people to check out right now. What you got? Oh
God. Well, I kind of talked about it before. I mean, you can catch me on Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Amazon. You can catch me in an upcoming episode of Madam Secretary coming out. Got a few other little bitty things coming out in 2018. But right now, hey, if there's anybody out there in podcast land or in internet land that loves movies and wants to talk about the project that I have going on, and I'm always looking for investors and people who love stories and people who want to make great stuff. And I'm in development on a feature, and we're looking for financiers. Is this okay to plug that?
Everything you want.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Just fair warning, I'm going to make fun of you afterwards, so keep going. That's
fine. If one emails me, I'll take it. No shame. But yeah, I'm trying to make this movie. It's a brilliant script. Like I said, it's kind of a dark sci-fi relationship movie. I'm going to be in it when we make it. We're talking to some big directors, talking to some interesting producers, but it takes that one place to say, or one person to say, here's a chunk of money to start the process. And nobody really wants to be the first domino to fall in film development. So working real hard, man, to get that made. It's a really important movie. I think it's in the zeitgeist right now in terms of male-female power dynamics and stuff going on, and it's got a really cool sci-fi vibe that if anyone is getting to know me through podcasts and social media and through interviews that I've done, they'll know that it's going to be done right in a cool sci-fi way. I got a TV pilot I'm working on that's more about family life. It's about dads in Brooklyn.
Nice.
That's it. I'm doing a dad TV show, so we're hoping to pitch that next month.
Now,
next couple months.
Do you guys already have a network in mind, or are you going to be making the rounds?
We're going to be making the rounds. We're going through my friends. We're going through we go through the agency process, and they set up meetings, and that's a whole thing. So we're in the infancy stages of it, but we have a really strong script, and people are really digging it. And so it's a question of where we're going to go and kind of who's going to help us hook up to those places. So yeah, we're going to finish this short film, hopefully put that out there in next month. And then, I've got something cooking with Marvel, which will be super fun, super cool. I'll start posting stuff about that hopefully in late January. My lightsaber just fell down.
Is it safe to say that the technical defects can get the exclusive on that?
I can't make. Don't put me in that position. I'm also beholden to the Marvel gods, so I don't. I'm but a pawn in their giant chess game. Of life.
The Marvel machine works with or without you.
Dude, I'm grateful for any opportunities they want to give me, and any ideas they feel like listening to, and they're listening to something, and it's cool. Like I said, I told people online, this is a fan's dream. I mean, look, I see your house. Look at you can't really see it, but I've shown you my toys. I'm a dork. I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. I'm a fan. I'm a real fan of a lot of this stuff, and to be put in this position, there's a lot of actors out there who are really good at what they do, and they don't get to be in this position. So I'm going, as they say, not to be trite, but with great power comes great responsibility, and I intend to fulfill this role as the fan's actor going forward. I take it very seriously, and I want to represent all of them.
Oh, and Joe just had an idea.
Well, no, he actually is. I mean, he relates to people. He talks to people. He's not afraid to talk to the fans. He's just an awesome guy. I've followed him on Facebook and on Twitter, and we just want to say thank you for doing that. That makes us feel included. It's really cool.
I appreciate it.
And it almost makes us look legitimate.
Look, I'm the guy who was desperately trying to get Mark Hamill to tweet back at him for months. And when I got it, I took a picture of it and then posted that on Instagram, a picture of his tweet on Instagram with me with my lightsaber. I mean, this is us. We're a part of a tribe, man. The way I see it, social media and my responsibility to all you guys and to all the fans out there is to just help build that campfire with everybody. I want to sit around. I want to tell stories. I want to roast marshmallows with everyone, and I want to be part of the conversation. I don't want to be anywhere else but with, my brothers and sisters who love this stuff too.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to be able to sit there and be like, oh yeah, that character that you like, yeah, I'm part of that. like the Punisher. Yeah, I'm part of that.
Yeah, sure.
Did you? I do have one question about that before you go, though. When you saw John, or did you see John in the full getup with the skull on the vest? Like, did you look at him and just go, "Holy shit"? Were there any moments like that? I don't know if you shot any scenes with him or not.
I didn't shoot any scenes with him. I mean, I got to know him a bit.
Right.
I mean, I definitely got to hang out with him a bit, and he threw a. We've already spoiled it. He threw a. So there's this tradition. I talked about this in an interview online. John and they started this thing called the Death Dinners at Walking Dead.
Okay.
So characters would die, they would have these like really nice dinners for them, and like it would be at different people's houses and stuff like that. So I was the first major character to go, and Punisher, first series regular to go, and so he threw me a death dinner at his house in Brooklyn where he was staying. And it was super cool, and he's just a good guy. Like, unfortunately, never got to see him in the full getup until I watched the show.
Yeah.
Which sucked. Mostly the John that I know is a laid back, cool California guy. Like, I never really got to experience like firsthand.
Right.
The Punisher. Although first time I met him at the Marvel, this place called the Marvel Workout Room. That's what they call it, which is a sort of a gym / training center where Marvel has a lot of studio space. And he was like pumping iron and doing that, and he had the beard and the hair, and I was like, holy shit. He's an intense guy, but then he talks to you, and he's totally disarming and cool and sweet, and like couldn't be nicer, couldn't be more gracious.
Yeah, some of my friends that are in the industry, the one thing they've always told me is they don't geek out over the actors, but when it comes to the Marvel stuff and comic book movies, they geek out over the characters. Like some of my friends that worked on the Avengers, they're like, yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is walking by. They're like, that's great, but then he's in that suit, and it's Iron Man's walking by.
Yeah.
So
so if someone sees me in a rumpled suit, they might feel similarly. Is that what you're saying?
We could go with that. Are you bleeding?
Could be.
Okay. Well, then, yeah,
I got to bring it up, though. I saw it on your Facebook page. You had a Lego action figure made.
Yeah, so I guess there's a lot of like
that.
Yeah. I mean, a guy. I forget the guy's name. I mean, he goes. I don't think I ever knew his name because he goes by a certain handle on Instagram. Instagram is where I've like sort of found my niche, and I'm sort of I've been branching out into Twitter more, and I do some stuff on Facebook too. But there are these artists who make these like custom figures, right? Who make these like Lego figure, custom Lego. There's like a whole minifig universe of fan minifigs that people make, which is crazy. Which I didn't really know about, honestly. And then he was making some really cool stuff, and he had made a bunch of things for the TV shows, and I made some comments. I was like, oh, where's the Sam Stein or something like that? And then he like made it, and I was like, what? He's like,
awesome.
Your request. And I was like, that's amazing. So I got into a fake Twitter fight with Funko a couple weeks ago because I made some comment like, look, there's figures of me, hey Funko, where's my, and then they kept making fun of me, and they were like, well, it's gonna have to be a 2-pack with you and Ben Barnes. And then I was like, F you, and they were like, well, we'll see. Well, you'll just have to wait and see. And then Ben weighed in, and he made fun of me, and I made fun of him. And it's like, my dream is to be an action figure. I mean, is that every guy's dream, right? Right. So I got a tiny taste of that where someone made a minifig. I think he made one, and he took a picture of it, and he posted it. Cool. And the fan art has been super cool. But man, like, come on. Funko? They make Funkos of everything. They make Funkos of like the guy who the guy who works at the deli down the block. I think that's Funko.
Maybe your character's Funko could be the first one with X's for eyes instead of the round ones.
Boom, done. That's what I need. I need smarter people like you to come up with those ideas. Like tweet at Funko, be like, hey Funko, here's an idea for. I mean, I like the Sam Stein, the Force Ghost Stein.
Oh.
Someone, one of the Star Wars sites, I think it was the Star Wars Daily, which is an Instagram site that does a lot of Star Wars postings and stuff. They made a fan one of me. I posted it on Instagram. You guys can see it. They made a Force Ghost Stein of me as a Funko in home, like with the Homeland Security background. It's badass.
That's cool. That is cool.
Yeah, man, that's the best. But yeah, I'm almost at actual action figure. I'm close.
You know what? I got nothing on that. I tried to think of something funny, but I just totally failed.
Well, I already told Ryan what I'm trying to do, and I actually tried to look for that Lego figure, just so you know, because I want to start putting the people that we interview behind me as action figures, and there's been quite a few. So
mine, you might have to commission. You might not be able to actually buy it in a store. I'm hoping someone's going to come through for me, right? Someone's going to want to buy a Sam Stein action figure.
Absolutely.
Hey, if they make you into a Marvel legend, I'll be all over that.
Appreciate that.
But it's got to come with a Build-A-Figure that I actually want. I'm just kidding.
Thanks.
Hey, no problem. I'm here to boost self-worth. That's what I'm here for. Like,
apparently that's your mission.
I'm a helper. All right, well, I'll tell you what, Sam. Jesus, why did I call you Sam?
Did
Michael.
you really just call him Sam again?
Yes. Well, the first time was on purpose. This time was not. No.
You can't. I mean, I'm lovable. I'm a lovable character. What do you want?
That's it.
Well, Michael, I'll tell you what. I would seriously love to sit here and just keep BSing and whatnot. It's been an absolute awesome time. But I've got a 3-year-old that's scared of the dark upstairs.
Look, I haven't eaten dinner, so my wife's going to be really sweet and defrost something for me, and I think my kids are finally asleep. So,
well, tell your wife we said thank you for releasing you and feeding you afterwards.
No,
if I may say, Michael, you and I are connected online. If there's anything you want to promote whatsoever, please let us know. It's been just an honor having you on here. You've been one of the greatest guests we've had. You're very laid back. Very appreciative.
I like doing. I like talking with people, man. It's kind of my natural way. Everyone who's ever worked with me in like the industry and like on these film sets, they get it. They're like, I just come in and I just kind of shoot the shit with people, and this is what it's all about. It's about, I like talking about the work and meeting cool people, and this is what it should be about.
Yeah, it's been very enjoyable, and honestly, the door's open. Anytime you want to come back, you're more than welcome. Even if you're
love to.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I say I definitely will have. I should. I'm not going to say definitely. I would say 85% I'll have something cool to talk to you guys about at some point. So
you know what? You've had plenty to cool to talk about today too. So
I try. But anyway, if everyone could follow me, I'll plug my social.
Yeah.
Follow me on Instagram at Michael_Nathanson. If anyone knows how to make the underscore, it's just the caps lock and the thing.
Oh, no, shift button. Don't hit caps lock.
Sorry.
Yeah, not caps.
Sorry, you'll find the underscore under shift. Michael underscore Nathanson, and then Twitter is M_Nathanson1, and Facebook's Michael Nathanson Official. But yeah, guys, super fun. I really appreciate it. I love shooting the shit with you. You guys have been totally cool and very nice to me. It's humbling. It's humbling to be on with you guys, and the fact that anyone wants to talk to me is really neat. So
hey, Michael, we appreciate you slumming it, man. It's cool.
And next time we're actually
when I say anyone, I meant people like you. Yeah.
No. I'm telling you, you're slumming it. Trust me.
No, wait. Next time, nobody saw a pre-show. Next time, we're actually going to record you singing the Technical Defects theme song.
All right. Well, then you have to send it to me in advance, and I'm a pretty quick. I was in the Lion King national tour.
Nice.
I saw that.
I didn't know that.
I've done some weird things in my career. Next time we'll go back and I'll tell you all the craziest things I've done in my career, all the weirdo things I've done, and then you can start Googling them and be like, oh my God, that guy? And then you can embarrass the shit out of me.
That'll
nice.
be perfect. All right, well, we're going to get out of here. Michael, thank you very much.
Thank you, boys.
Joe,
pleasure.
Say bye to the people.
Bye, people. Safe streaming. And again, we appreciate having you on.
And as always, each and every one of you can bite my ass.
Stay with us 1 second, Michael.